in the week before my GMAT, I took around 4 to 5 mock tests,
Okay.
and in 2 or 3 of them, I scored full in quant. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even the night before my actual GMAT, I took a mock test, and again I scored 100 in quant.
Mm-hmm.
So my
Mm-hmm.
only hope was that the next morning, either I will make zero mistakes or I'll make my one mistake max.
Mm-hmm.
So I made one mistake. I still don't know where. So
Okay.
I won't say that I had a very fancy routine that I woke up at 5 a.m. I went for a jog. It was nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
There were days when I woke up at 9 and I ran to office. There were days when I woke up at 7, studied for 1.5 2 hours, then went to office.
Okay.
One thing that I didn't, I knew, but I didn't consciously apply before, like in the period before 2 weeks of my GMAT was
Mm-hmm.
I tend to reread a lot of passages, right? And that is a very bad strategy. Not a
Yeah.
strategy, that's a like you have to consciously tell yourself that you have to read the passage in one go. And I really thanks Sandeep sir for this particular thing. Otherwise, you first there are two benefits actually.
Okay. So first of all, congratulations on this brilliant of a score. You have a
Thank you
65
very much.
GMAT. You have a total score of 98 percentile. You have a quant in with 97 percentile. You have a verbal with 84 percentile, and you have a 93 percentile in the data insight. So
That's right.
it's a very amazing score. And yeah, congratulations on that. And
Thank you
uh,
very much.
when was this exam conducted?
So it was in the end of the March.
Okay, another March. Okay, so this is pretty recent. Okay, and were you surprised with the score, or you were expecting this kind of score?
Expecting this or just
Uh-huh.
one slab above this. So
Okay,
one
okay,
of those
okay.
two. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So since I'm also meeting you for the first time, you can just
Yes.
tell me a little bit about yourself and what led you to start this GMAT journey or think about the MBA journey and how you came to know about top person.
Right. So, well, I remember during my end of the third year or beginning of the fourth year, Sandeep sir, top 1% came to my college, IIT Delhi, and they conducted a whole seminar on introducing GMAT and how exactly does it help you, what all MBA programs are there, and he told a lot about their ex-students, how did they go from A to B and you know expanded their careers, and how did GMAT help them in their journeys. So I was fascinated with that a lot, not just me, but a lot of my friends too. So then we thought that since it was a fourth year, so we had a placement going on. So I thought that once I'm placed somewhere in a good company, then I'll start with my GMAT journey. But again, once you're placed new in your college, after that for a few months you don't do anything, and that was me. So I procrastinated on that. And finally, after joining the job, then after a few months, I started preparing seriously for the GMAT.
Yeah. Okay, so and you came to number top 1%. Uh,
Top 2%, yeah, 98 percentile.
okay. No, you came to number you joined top 1% when exactly?
Yeah, so I took the 6 month course in October around.
Okay, so okay, so you took around close to 6 months. Got it, got it. I just
Yes,
want to
yes, yes.
understand your journey a little bit. Got it, got it. Yeah, and so when you started initially, what was your, I would say, relatively weaker section, and what was relatively, I would say, more of a section where you felt that this is more of your strength?
Right. So see, being an engineer from
Mm-hmm.
IT Delhi, Quant and DI were mostly a breeze for me. The
Okay.
only thing that we require, obviously, is to minimize the silly mistakes and
Yeah.
minimize sometimes question tests you in a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes we tend to take an assumption which we are trained for, but
Yeah.
on the GMAT, that does not hold true.
Mm-hmm.
So for Quant and DI, I think I didn't have any weakness. It's just that I had to practice a lot.
Okay.
Particularly RCHCR were new things for me.
Okay.
So on those areas, I had to focus majorly in my preparation.
Okay. So when you talk about RCS here, what is specifically helped you initially? Was there too much of in terms of friction involved in terms of applying those concepts, because those concepts are not something that you would use in a normal day-to-day life. So,
Totally, totally.
there was a lot of friction involved. So, and were you able to get past that learning curve easily, or is what it was a bit you had to go some sort of breakthrough after putting long number of hours? Was it like that?
So I think that's right. In the beginning, when you look at the methods taught in this course, for
Mm-hmm.
example, Octave for that instance, a lot of
Yeah.
people know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if, when you're learning about Octave, it does seem like okay, that's great. You can just eliminate all those options, or you can look at the balanced tone, positive tone. So
Mm-hmm.
at first, it looks very appealing,
Yeah.
but when you actually sit in a timed manner, you don't consciously you don't subconsciously apply that, right? You have to tell yourself that you have to apply that OCTAAVE.
Yeah.
So yes, what you said, friction is there. You will have to tell yourself before each paragraph or before each setting that you have to apply Octave. But yes, gradually you will get the hang of it.
Okay.
So that is about the RC section. For CR also, I would say CR was a bit easier than RC for me personally,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and I think that's true for a lot of people.
Yeah.
RC is the
Correct.
most challenging thing
Correct.
because
Yes.
of the long passages and a lot of new words that we don't encounter in our daily lives
Mm-hmm.
often. The CR was a bit more logical. for me, because I can see this a party A, this party B, either they're agreeing or they're disagreeing, or a lot of those questions. We not go into that.
Yes.
So yeah, in CR also there were broadly 7 to 8 categories of questions, and at the
Hmm.
end of my preparation, I was able to identify which category is that, and subsequently apply that logic whatever is required.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm guessing with when you were practicing with RC, doing those 50 passages, close to that number of passages in a properly consciously manner, applying those octave concepts and those, that was definitely helpful. That's what I'm guessing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
got it, got it. Okay, and with Quant, you said that you were able to get that phase where initially you were making those silly mistakes, and I'm guessing were you using just based on the error log, or you were actually improving some of the methods that you need to apply for the concepts that's required for the Quant questions, or you were just
No, no, no. Hmm.
improving on the errors that you're making?
Yeah. Right. So I think I didn't use the error log for quant at all.
So in so
I
initially, so
just
yes,
noticed. Hmm.
yeah. So initially, so I'm just saying that initially, most of the people who are actually good at quant, they just sometimes they are actually just improving on the methods that they are actually applying, and sometimes they are actually improving on the just the based on the errors that they're making, silly amount of errors. So was it the case
Hmm.
for you on both the things or just one thing?
It was actually the third thing.
Okay.
I'll tell you. So yeah. So since like 4 to 5 years, they've been taught to finish the questions in a very fast manner. Since
Hmm.
I took JEE and all, so we had like 1 hour for 30 questions, and that too were JEE level questions, right?
Yeah,
Now,
correct.
similarly in GMAT one, we have around 45 minutes for 23 questions. So the ratio is still the same. However, the question, well, difficulty is way less than that.
Hmm.
So my mindset was, finishing the questions as fast as possible, and that was causing the silly mistakes.
Okay.
But then one day I tried this. I have 45 minutes instead of completing all the questions in 20 minutes and then rechecking them all. I'll take half the time. Each question I'll read twice. I'll solve very slowly, and then I was able to reduce my silly mistakes. Even I'll tell you one very good thing.
Hmm.
Just in the week before my GMAT, I took around 4 to 5 mock tests,
Okay.
and in 2 or 3 of them I scored full in quant. Right.
Hmm.
Even the night before my actual GMAT, I took a mock test and again I scored 100 in quant.
Hmm.
So my
Hmm.
only hope was that the next morning, either I will make zero mistakes or I'll make my one mistake max.
Hmm.
So I made one mistake. I still don't know where. So that's
Uh-huh.
the thing.
Okay.
So bottom line is, I just consciously noted that if I am making any silly mistake at all in any quant paper,
Hmm.
on what is the theme of that mistake? Was it calculation mistake, or did I read the question wrong, or did I comprehend it wrong? So I just
Hmm.
noted that all in my mind. I just wrote it down somewhere wherever my master data was there,
Hmm.
and then I was able to minimize those mistakes just by doing it slowly and calmly.
Okay, so I'm guessing you must be going through all those error notes every time you must be going for another setting of the quant so that
Yes,
you
yes,
can
yes,
consciously make sure that you're not doing those errors. Correct,
totally, totally.
correct, correct. And you were managing this entire prep of yours with the work. Can you give us a general idea of how were you managing your time and how much number of hours you were putting on a weekday basis and a weekend basis?
I really hope I had a good answer for that.
Uh-huh.
Huh. So I'll tell you the truth. So I had to juggle my job as well
Mm-hmm.
along with my preparation. So
Okay.
I won't say that I had a very fancy routine that I woke up at 5 a.m. I went for a jog. It was nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
There were days when I woke up at 9 and I ran to office. There were days when I woke up at 7, studied for 1.5 2 hours, then went to office.
Okay.
When I came back around 7:30 p.m. Then I relaxed a bit and then studied for another 2 hours, 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
in the last 1 month of let's say in the last 2 months of my GMAT preparation, you can say on an average I was giving 2 to 3 hours per day.
Got it. Got it. And you're probably stretching on the weekends.
Yes, yes, yes. On the weekends you can make it 5 to 6.
Okay. And also, can you give us just a general number of idea, like how many number of mocks that you gave, and what would you say like is the ideal, or not the ideal, I would say minimum number of mocks that anybody should definitely give.
So I took around 8 to 9 if I'm not wrong. 8 to 9 marks I took,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that minimum that much is required. So I wish I would have given more. So I took 2 to 3 mock tests from top 1%. Four was GMAT official mock tests, and
Okay.
one was the London Business School mock test that is there on the website.
Okay.
And one I guess is from another third party website. So if you just Google free GMAT mock tests, you'll get a lot of mock tests. So
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just saw them and took them.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Understand. Okay. And coming on to your test day experience, you gave this test on the center or you gave it online?
Yes, it was an offline test.
Okay. And were there any inconsistencies or in terms of the content or compared to something what you were practicing on the material, or it was very similar?
No, it was very similar. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel much of a difference among my other mock tests. Like there's this thing with me that whenever I take an actual test, I
Mm-hmm.
just tell to myself that okay, this is another mock test. This is another mock test. So that is another thing that helped me there. So yeah,
Exactly.
but yeah, there's not much of a vast difference between the actual GMAT and the mock tests that I took.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that is more of any do's and don'ts that you would like to suggest to the future test takers who would watch the videos later on, or who are actually going to watch the videos in a very recent time, who are actually preparing right now, that you would want, because you are now on the other side of the track, so you can
Yeah,
probably
I know. I
share
know.
that nuggets of information from your journey.
All right. So first of all, let's say for do's,
Mm-hmm.
there were some things that I wish, or maybe if you will, I consolidated that these are the things that I did well, or
Mm-hmm.
these are the methods of that I did, and they went well for me. So first is that you also mentioned a while ago that you should prepare an error log. Now I did not make a very exhaustive error log. What I did was during my mock test, whatever mistakes I made, I just wrote in a notebook that what kind of mistake was it, or maybe I didn't know a word, or maybe I comprehended something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I read something wrong, or I missed some part of the passage, or I overlooked that. So the theme of the error I noted somewhere. So
Yeah.
that is one thing that you should do, because of course you don't want to be saying the same kind of error throughout your mock test on, let alone the actual GMAT,
Correct.
right? So that is one thing. Another do that you want is practice all the types of CR questions. So after a while, you will identify that there are 7 to 8 types of CR questions.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
moment you read a question, you should be able to identify which question is that, and accordingly, whatever is taught, whatever methodology of solving that kind of question is, just you should straight away jump to that methodology.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah.
If you know it's a weekend question, you should know that you have to, among all the options, you have to negate it and all
Mm-hmm.
that. Right.
Correct.
So that is one for CR. For RC, one thing that I didn't, I knew, but I didn't consciously apply before, like in the period before 2 weeks of my GMAT was
Mm-hmm.
I tend to reread a lot of passages, right? And that is a very bad strategy. Not
Yeah.
a strategy, that's a like you have to consciously tell yourself that you have to read the passage in one go. And I really thank Sandeep sir for this particular thing. Otherwise, you first there are two benefits actually. If you read it in one go, not only you save time, that is a very important thing. If you read it twice, you will take around 60 to 70% more time in
Correct.
solving that passage, right?
Yeah.
That will kill your RC score.
Yeah.
So, time is one thing. Second is if you are consciously reading it once, na, you will understand it.
Exactly.
If
Yeah.
not today, if not today, after 1 to 2 months of practice, you will understand it in one
Yeah.
go.
I mean,
There will
if
be,
even if you don't understand, you get the mind mapping of the passage much more effectively.
exactly,
Like
exactly.
what
Huh, that
exactly
is,
is written in that
I was
particular
coming on that.
position. Yeah, yeah, correct.
Totally, totally. You get it. You see, look at the tone. You look at there are some contradiction words. So
Hmm.
even if you don't understand 100%, you still know 70% what is going on.
Correct.
So even if there's a question, you will directly go to that part of the passage, and then you can accordingly eliminate the options.
Yeah.
So yes, this is very important that read it in one go.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that is valuable information. Yeah, that thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess any what are your plans as of now? Because you were saying that you are still early in your career. So
Yes.
what is your plan as of right now? You are planning on this year or maybe later?
So it's not even been 1 year since I joined my current job,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and I know for a fact that the GMAT score is valid for 5 years, right?
Correct.
So I'm
Yes.
not in a hurry at all.
Of course.
I'm open to opportunities. I think I'll stay at least 1 to 2 years more in the industry,
Mhm.
and then plan for doing any masters if at all.
Got it. Got it. I mean, yeah, I mean, in the position that you are, it's a very good place to be because having a good GMAT score, I mean, you can juggle your jobs, build your profile, do MBA if you want to. So it's a very
Yeah,
good
exactly.
position to be, definitely.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not in a haste. It's not like I have to apply right now. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I will apply whenever I want in the next 2 to 3 years down the line.
Of course, perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, yeah. I'll just send you a request on LinkedIn, and yeah, we'll be in touch. And if something comes up in
Oh
your
yes,
journey,
yes, totally.
something comes up in your journey, we'll
Mhm.
get your update. Yeah.
No worries, no worries.
Okay, Chetan. Thank you for your time,
Yeah,
and congratulations again on a
thank
good
you very
score.
much. And yeah, thank you for that.